Hello everybody, welcome back. This is EonShiKeno and I've got with me TiMeLorD.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. We've got a game here on Xel'Naga Caverns between PlanB, who is our blue Terran player in the top right side of the map, and on the bottom left we've got someone with a Korean name.
Yeah, I don't know. What should we call him?
How about El Rojo?
El Rojo. All right, sounds good to me.
Rojo Red sounds like it'll work. As I have my microphone here, I don't have my new microphone stand yet, my mic boom yet, just because the place I bought it from is seems like a mom and pop shop, because I ordered it 4 days ago and they still haven't processed the order. So I'm holding my microphone here and it's still got the new microphone smell.
Like a new car smell.
Pretty much. So El Rojo down here in the bottom left, Protoss player. This is just a game from the Korean ladder, I'm pretty sure it is. And we got a PVT here on Xel'Naga Caverns. Xel'Naga Caverns is turning out to be like one of the best 1v1 maps in Starcraft, too.
Yeah, it's definitely really popular. It's standing the time, I guess, like Metalopolis.
Yeah, not like Steps of War. Jesus Christ. That map was... I don't know how anyone ever thought that was a good map.
So what do you think, why is his supply depot, Plan B supply depot way down there?
Oh, that's to scout for a proxy gateway. With this map, if you're Protoss, as soon as the game starts, you can take a probe, run it down here to this position, place a pylon, and then by the time you run around up into his base, and then you can place a gateway right there, and you have just enough minerals. Works out pretty perfect, and you can just basically keep making zealots and force the Terran player to have to micro and stuff like that, and you can just get a lot of SCV kills. So I've seen a lot of Terran players at least come down here and scout, if not build something down there to make sure the Protoss players are going to cheese them or something like that.
Yeah, I do like that, how that he does build his buildings down there, so it's like always scouted at all times, so it's pretty neat.
Yeah. And we have a command center going down for Plan B. He is going to throw up a command center and try to macro it out. Not quite sure what we're going to see El Rojo do over here. He's got a second gas up, so I'm expecting some type of tech build. He's got a pylon at the very top left of his base, so that lets me to think he's going to maybe try and get some hidden tech up there. The Terran player hasn't scouted that out yet up there, so he may actually miss that pylon. One thing you want to do whenever you're scouting as against a Protoss player, look where they are putting their pylons, because that's the only place they can put buildings until they get a warp prism out, and no one ever hides buildings with warp prisms as far as I've seen. Have you ever seen that?
No, I've never actually seen that. That sounds pretty neat, though.
Yeah.
Be pretty cool to see, actually.
Kind of like an overlord, you know,
Yeah.
laying some creep down for a... but he's got his probe up there. I think he's going to throw down like a Twilight Council or a Starport or something like that in this situation.
I think he just forgot his probe up there, because he just sent a probe up there to build I guess 2 gateways.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he already had a probe up there. He forgot about that, so lost a lot of mining time on that.
Yeah, so he looks like he's going to go for a 3 gateway expand. He's just hiding those gateways, so that way if his Terran opponent does decide to throw down a scan, he's going to know about that. So we're going to have a Stalker come here to the front, try and get some harass, and he's going to get a couple damage. He's going to try and walk up there, but no, good blocking from Plan B. Definitely denies a lot of scouting from that Stalker, and took a lot of health off of the Stalker as well.
Yeah, usually you don't see too many Protoss try to run their Stalker up when they see 4 Marines. They want to, you know, keep Stalker full health, but
I think
going to be really weak.
Yeah, I think he was going to try just run past the Marines and just scout his opponent's base and, you know, sacrifice a little bit of life. But Plan B did a really good job there just blocking the Stalker. He ran up right next to it and stopped it. We have we have a pretty standard build here. You go for the fast expand with the one barracks expand, throw down an orbital expand, then you throw down more barracks, just produce mass Marines. And he's up on 2 gas now. And he can basically transition into anything at this point. And it looks like Red, did he throw down another gateway? No, it looks like we're going to see El Rojo go into some 3 gate pressure. Maybe not try to break the front of the ramp, but at least contain him to stop him from expanding. And he hasn't yet scouted that expansion. But I think it's safe to assume he is expanding based on like the 15 Marines he had at his ramp. I mean, what else could he be doing?
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to have an attack here. Marine's already taken out a Stalker super quick, and this that Protoss player, he's not going to get up that ramp ever with that few units and no Zealots. There are just way too many Marines up there.
Yeah, he missed a key force field. Like, the Marines were down just a little bit. He could have cut them in half or done something to...
Or at least turned on Guardian Shield, for God's sake. I mean, come on. Mass Marines, a Guardian Shield is your friend. That thing, what is that? What is that? Range 4 and then 2 armor. So that's pretty good. But if he tries to break him, I think that would be completely insane. I think right now he just needs to play defense and stop him from expanding. And he just picked off 1 Marine over there. Doing a good job of microing that weak Stalker to the back.
Yeah, and El Rojo is still just chilling on one base. He's getting up a robotics facility. So I guess he's just going to try to pressure him to make him not expand.
Do you think he's going to go just for observers from that Robo, or do you think he's going to transition into Colossus? Because Colossus would be a great unit to deal with all these Marines.
Yeah, I would definitely think Colossus.
Actually, he's making an observer. He's got enough gas, so he can throw down a Robo Bay whenever he feels like it. He's got a ton of probes out, and he's still producing probes. He could easily throw down an expansion anytime. I mean, look how oversaturated he is with all those probes at that main. And he's still producing probes, so he's going to have to expand. Otherwise, all these probes are completely wasted for the time being.
Yeah, now he's expanding at like the 9:15 marker. Actually, he keeps making stuff, so it's going to be even later. It is kind of a really late expansion.
So our Terran player is going pure Marine, and Stim is just about finished. He's going to Reaper coming out, starting his factory. And those force fields aren't going to last forever. I think eventually we're going to see Plan B try to break the ramp and just run down there with Stim and maybe pick El Rojo off. These force fields are going to be extremely critical, whether or not he can, block those Marines, cut them off at the ramp, and stop them from breaking down there. Because as soon as those Marines get down the ramp, it's going to be game over, for that army. There's no way that army is going to be able to beat that many Marines with Stim. And it looks like El Rojo is going to fall back and just completely give up that position. He's up there with that observer, so he can scout out every single thing that's up on top of that ramp. And I guess that he thinks it's just too much for him. And there's actually a tank out with Siege almost done, so it looks like Plan B is just going to play it safe and maybe was planning for a Siege tank expand just to break out of his ramp. We got a Reaper harass down here. Has 1 kill. And he actually scouted that and using 2 force fields.
Wow.
That was overkill.
Yeah, it was.
Like, the only way that could have been more overkill is if he, I don't know, used a mothership vortex on the Marine. It's like, you aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally like 10 Stalkers around that Reaper, and he force fields it. He wasn't quite sure whether or not 10 Stalkers could kill a Reaper with 1 shot, but looks like Plan B is finally going to go out and expand. Feels safe to do so. And let's check the Harvester count right now. 43 for a Protoss player versus 39 for a Terran player. So that constant production has kept him in the lead, and he did a big transfer down here to his natural. So he's pretty well saturated down there. He's up on 4 gas. 3rd and 4th gas for Plan B, also just now being built at the refinery. And it looks like Plan B is going to go for Plan A and go with a big Marine Stim combat shield tank push. And it's basically going to come down to El Rojo to defend this. And does he even have 1 Colossus out yet?
Colossus is about out, actually.
It's about out. He's going to fight him out here. I like this play from El Rojo. Take the punch to him, but wow, that was a lot of Marines. And with Stim, those guys are just beastly. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. Force fields, much-needed force fields.
Scoot and shoot. Picked off about 4 sentries. That was really good.
Yeah, I like what El Rojo did there. He pushed the fight to blue to slow him down, to buy him time for that Colossus to get out instead of just sitting there. And the tank is sieged up there. He's going to try and get some bunkers. That's not going to work out. And he's going to push out. He's going to lose that tank. He's just completely sacrificing that tank. I guess he's scared of that Colossus. 2 more tanks up there in the back. It looks like Plan B's backing up. Stimming going to go off. He's going to come up here, get some kills. He's going to try and focus fire, kill down that Colossus. It looks like he's going to get him. Stalkers are falling like flies, and there's so many Marines left. And Plan B is just cleaned up that Stalker mess. And that's the end of that. So supply count 61 now for El Rojo, 93 for Plan B. And wow, man, El Rojo's in trouble.
Yeah, El Rojo has he has 2 robotics facility, and he had one of his other Colossus building the one that was already building. So he lost a lot of. He could have had almost 2 Colossus out at this time right now. He didn't realize it.
Yeah, actually, he managed to fight off this attack. Those Marines were really squishy, pretty low. on life. They used a couple stims, so he's going to fight this off. And Plan B is probably going to fall back. He's got 2 tanks up there and just 5 or 6 Marines, so he's probably going to fall back. But, man, El Rojo lost a lot of Harvesters in that fight, 29 versus 39. So definitely lost a lot of those probes just to stay alive.
Plan B definitely came out ahead
in that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So early game kind of went towards El Rojo, but now as we move on to the mid game, definitely Plan B is in the lead. And he's setting up a nice defensive wall here. He's got a couple bunkers, 3 tanks. I like the position of the tanks. And some SCVs out. I guess he was fearing a counterattack, which is something you could actually understand. You know, you just did a severe economic damage to your opponent. They basically have 2 options. Try to do something risky, get back in the game, or slowly die. One option is you just go for a big counterattack and try to win right there. But looks like El Rojo wasn't going to go for that. He's going to play it safe and just try to get back in this game the old-fashioned way and macro it up.
Yep, and Plan B is getting down to his 3rd, actually.
Oh, yeah, building it back there in the
2
corner.
starports.
2 starports definitely going to be critical, and he's even making 3 reactors on some barracks. Not quite sure if that is for minerals or if he's going to swap those over to those starports just to pump out like 4 or 5 Vikings really quick to take out those Colossus. And if he can take out the Colossus, those Marines will just completely crush the Stalker force that's left over because he hasn't got a single upgrade yet.
Yeah, and Plan B probably saw the double robo, so that means he wants to pump out those Vikings ASAP.
And yep, we already have 2 Vikings out on the way, and he's got a pretty big tank number. The supply, 116 for Plan B, 101 for El Rojo. So the supply actually kind of caught up here for El Rojo. I was kind of worried he was going to be completely left in the dark after that attack, but he's, you know, still in the game for sure. And it looks like we have Plan B going to send out some scout Marines. They're going to go to each cell Naga tower, but El Rojo already there with a unit at each, just a probe on the right, so he's going to lose that tower on the right, but he cleared up that Marine on the left. He's going to have access to that Zell Naga tower just for a little bit. Nope, going to die to the Colossus. He gets roasted.
Probe survives.
Wow, the probe does survive. We have Plan B up here at the top. Got that wall off in the back of his base with those supply depots. Doesn't want anything sneaking in there. Got to have the secret password. And a slow tank push here coming through the middle of the map. Looks like we're going to have Plan B. Maybe just try and secure this gold. Already thrown down a missile turret just to keep an eye on any observers. And he has a lot of tanks, actually.
Yeah, he is inching his way forward to probably secure that gold, like you said, but his 3rd that he made into an orbital. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the best decision.
He's going to do some poking with some Colossus here, but those tanks are in range, and they're going to fight off that no problem. You were saying?
I was saying, like, the orbital for the 3rd, like, he already turned it into an orbital, so he's not going to have a planetary fortress at that gold if that's what he's going to do with that 3rd orbital. Not sure.
I think that's it's not a bad decision. I mean, considering how many tanks he has, does he really even need a planetary?
True. Well, you can always send zealots. I mean, like, if he's pushing, it's debatable, I guess, yeah.
I mean, considering the army composition that El Rojo has, you know, mostly Zealot, Stalker, and Colossus being the biggest tech unit, and he's got 5 of them, I mean, a tank will just destroy those Colossus before they get anywhere near the Marine line. So I think just composition-wise, Plan B is just so far ahead, army composition-wise. I mean, even look at all the Vikings he has now. Look at all that. Wow. 7 Vikings out. They're just going to crush those Colossus. Do you know exactly how many Vikings it takes to one-shot a Colossus offhand?
No. I know it's double digits, so.
Oh, okay. So, going to get some free shots here on the Colossus. Actually going to lose a Viking there. Getting a little too far out of that tank range. Want to stay in tank range there, if at all possible. But got that one Colossus pretty low. And El Rojo has his gold up. So both players are still pretty even here with economy. But it looks like Plan B is going to push up here once again with some tanks and some Vikings. Going to try and pressure this expansion. And is Rojo going to go for the attack up in there? Probably not the smartest move. He has this vision of the Zell Naga tower. But it looks like he's going to counterattack up here around the left side of the map. And tanks are going to be over there. He's going to try and take out this planetary. It looks like he's going to get a bunch of SCV kills here, that's for sure. He's out of range of the tanks. Those guys are way too far over there, and he's going to fly this planetary away. Viking's going to come in and try and take out a Colossus. Wow, he's going to drop that one really quick. Second one drops extremely fast. Looks like he had some tank focus fire on there also. Another Colossus going down. He's kind of peeling away these tanks, but there are plenty more tanks in the back there. They're pretty deep, and he's going to fall back. I'm trying to debate whether that was a successful attack for Rojo. He did deny the expansion. He killed a couple tanks, but he lost about, what was that, like 4 or 5 Colossus?
No, I think it was only 3.
Really, only 3? Okay. So
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, based on the amount of mining time he lost and the SCVs he killed, I think it was probably worth it.
Yeah, and what he did is he had that orbital. You're like,
Whoa, wait a second.
planetary fortress.
Red lost his gold expansion.
What? I didn't even see that.
I
guess that was what the Marines were
attacking. Yeah, okay. Because I
Wow.
looked down here, I'm like, wait, didn't El Rojo have a gold expansion? So yeah, evidently they traded bases right there. So actually, maybe not the best trade for El Rojo. I mean, he lost Colossus and at the sacrifice of his own base, trading a base. So I don't know. Supply counts still favor Plan B, but not by too much. He's gonna actually pressure this. This is, I don't know, throwing up some force fields, but really, I mean, there's a lot of Marines up there. He's got plenty of Colossus, but the Marines have +1 attack upgrade, and there's nothing but Colossus left. How many Vikings left? Just 1 Viking, and there's some Marines and Marauders chasing it. That one is going to die. Yes, it's going to fall. 2 more just left, and El Rojo now running for his life, and Plan B chasing him down with some Marines, and it looks like he's going to finally take that out. Plan B still has quite a few. He actually kind of stopped Viking production. He really needs to get that out there. He's got a Ghost out there, but I'm surprised he hasn't kept making Vikings. We haven't seen El Rojo transition into Immortals, which would be, kind of useful considering the mass numbers of tanks he's up against. Gonna have some more harass here on the gold base of Plan B. Gonna kill some SCVs. Wow, he's getting a couple kills there. Nice job. Gonna delay some more expansion. But the problem is for El Rojo, he's denying expansion, which is nice, but his expansion isn't even close to getting back up. He has enough money. He needs to get back in that and, try and level the playing field, at least pull out a little bit of a lead during his harass.
Yeah, it looks like Rojo's not even trying to get his third up. He has so few minerals, he just keeps pumping out the Colossus.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of Colossus is nice, but whenever you're dealing with that many tanks, I just don't think it's cost effective to go that many Colossus versus, well, how many even tanks does he have at this point? What is that, 8 tanks out already? And even just 1 or 2 Vikings is going to completely sway any fight. I think just at this point, El Rojo is basically dead. I mean, look at his income is, pretty low at this point. He's off 1 base, and he's not even close to setting up this third. So I think he's just going to try and end it, with this attack.
He's doing all in because that's all he's making is units. He's not even saving up for a third.
Yeah, I think what he really needs to do is just go around to the right side of the base and just walk up in his base and start killing production buildings because there are no tanks anywhere along this right side of the map. Look at that. He can just walk right up in there, kill a bunch of production buildings, force those tanks to relocate. Everybody knows how slow tanks are. And just force his opponent to, move away from what he's defending from that base and do something. But you can't attack into siege tanks whenever you're trying to, end this game here. You have to do something, kill production, kill economy. You can't just walk straight into an army because he's going to beat you. Tanks have longer range. They do some serious damage. 55 versus Colossus. He's going to come in the back here, try and harass, pick off a missile turret. But, I mean, the longer this game goes on... Actually, he just threw up an expansion. I totally did not see that coming. So I guess he's not going to try and finish it off right here. He's just going to... He wanted to play it, I guess, extremely safe, Get as many units out as possible, put heavy pressure up, and... then throw up an expansion when he felt it was safe. Maybe he thought he could apply so much pressure that his opponent wouldn't have the time to go counter harass. But it looks like I really like this here from El Rojo going around the tanks. Big EMP off there up in the front. And wow, those Colossus are going to die. He needs to micro them back. He's going to lose. Oh, loses both of them. Nice job there from Plan B. And whoa, tanks giving a lot of damage to those stalkers. Those tanks are just come out of nowhere, just dropping some serious bombs.
Yeah, the EMP and the tank hit at the exact same time. Took out about 4 sentries and almost killed those Colossus alone. It was crazy.
Yeah, Plan B looks so solid at this point. He's got another command center being built with an orbital. And while El Rojo has his base down here, still hasn't even managed to kill those destructible rocks. So those probes are going to have to take the long way around the scenic tour. I guess they get to go by those fancy gold minerals and get the nice tour. And just hang out over there. Now they're finally getting to the base, getting some mining time. But it's been a while since he's actually been mining off 2 base. So looks like we're going to have another attack. He's going to do some more poking here, try and pick off some missile turrets. He's basically poking anywhere where he's not going to get hit by tanks. But he looks like he's going to push up again, trying to bait out some more Marines, and Marauder's going to kill a couple of units off there. Nice EMP right out there on top of all the units. And those Vikings, there's so many Vikings out right now. Those Colossus are so dead. Oh, wow, he's going to lose so many Colossus. Not good. Stalker's going to go up there to the front, try and take out some Vikings. There are so many Vikings out right now.
Yeah, he could have just... He only has 4 anti-air units. Well, he just warped in about 5 more Stalkers, but he didn't have very many Stalkers to combat those Vikings right there.
And one thing I got to know here, I mean, PlanB is just, I think he's been the superior player so far this game. Look at upgrades alone. He's working on 3 Terran vehicle weapons upgrades and 3 infantry upgrades. And El Rojo's got jack shit.
Yeah, he's not playing for the late game, even though it is starting to go way into the late game.
Yeah, we're already on the 30-minute mark, and PlanB is going to make a move for this bottom right base, and El Rojo is going to lose that. But are they going to trade bases? No. Is El Rojo going to go for an attack or try to defend? That base is going to fall so fast to those Marines. And wow, he's even got +1 armor upgrade. That Nexus fell so fast. El Rojo maybe going to get a flank here, but those tanks are sieged up. You can't flank tanks if they're already sieged. I mean, you technically can, but really... Oh, he's already lost, what was that, 3 or 4 units right there. And he's going to get flanked with the Vikings. The Vikings are going to come in from the top. Guardian's still going to go up. Oh, Red is going to go for that. He's going to send in some... Oh, he's just melting. But, oh, wow. Colossus destroying those Marines. He's going to push up in here. Vikings coming in from the top, dealing some serious
he landed
damage.
his Vikings.
Oh, my God. They're just dead. I mean, within the course of, what was that? 4 seconds, Red lost his entire army and left the game there. So,
Yeah,
Plan
the power
B...
of Stim.
Yeah, Stem walking up there. He didn't have a ghost with him that fight, did he? I think, or did he pick it off at the beginning
Ghost
of the
died
fight?
right at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, before he could get off the fight. But man, Plan B with just the far superior strategy and just long game planning, just getting those upgrades, taking his time with the expansion. You know, he didn't rush out there. He didn't run out into the Warp Gate army. You know, took his time, waited for siege tanks to finish, then he could safely push out. And then he just went into straight up mass upgrades, mass Marine, mass tank, and just played it nice and smooth. I think it worked out pretty well for him this game.
Yep, and I think Rojo's biggest downfall was, of course, no upgrades and trying to get out way too many units before expanding. That's what eventually killed him, I think.
Yeah, and it seemed like his composition just never adapted. He was like, I'm going to go Warp Gate units and Colossus, and, oh, he's got 10 Vikings? I'll just make more Colossus, of course.
Right. Yeah.
That doesn't work.
Of course.
Especially Marine tank Viking army. I mean, 2 of those units essentially counter a Colossus or are highly effective, you know. It's good that Colossus do well against Marines, but you got to remember Vikings and tanks completely destroy Colossus. You can't just push in there and try to make your way into there with Colossus against that many tanks, especially with upgrades where they're doing, you know, 50+ damage to a Colossus, and he's got so many spread out.
Right.
So, boys and girls, I hope you all learned a good lesson here. Don't play like El Rojo. Play like Plan B, and play for the mid and late game, and it worked out for him. Anything else you got to add?
Nope. Just see everybody later.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out my YouTube page at youtube.com/EonShiKeno. And another note, I'll start doing my live ladders again once I get my mic boom, because I can't play and hold a microphone at the same time. I would have to play with just my mouse, and that would be awful. Once again, youtube.com/EonShiKeno. See everybody later.